I learned how to make this squash bird in college, but not from a chef, because no chef in his right mind would ever demo this stupid bird. A caterer came by the school and had done different little silly vegetable carvings and penguins made out of eggs and pineapple sailboats. And anyway, I saw this squash bird, and it did something to me. I basically fell in love with the squash bird. And I sketched it in my notebook, and I really liked it. I knew it was dumb, and I knew it was silly, and I knew it was stupid, but I also knew that it made me smile, and I liked it. Well, the other chefs didn't like it. The chefs at the school thought it was the silliest, dumbest thing they'd ever seen, and while some of them said, yeah, it's kind of cute, it certainly does not belong on a fancy French buffet. It is certainly not real garde-manger. And for those of you that don't know, garde-manger is just all that fancy stuff you see on a buffet, the ice carvings and the galantines and the canapes, all the fancy stuff that very intricate cold foods. I thought that stuff was dumb. I mean, who would eat that stuff? So I didn't really enjoy garde-manger class in school. And like I say, this is the only thing I ever saw that I remotely enjoyed. Off I went to my first official job after college. It was a 3-month job at Many Glacier National Park in Montana. And funny, it was actually run by Greyhound Food Service, the bus company back then. And they had hired the top culinary students from all over the country, grade-wise, that is. And there we were in Montana cooking for 3 months. And then the job would end, and we'd all go off to our own separate ways. Well, that summer, because I was with all these hotshot cooks from all over the country, I had to keep up with them. So anytime a topic came up like sauté, oh, I'm the best. Pasta making, I'm the best. Hot foods, the best. You've seen me on the hotline here. You guys can't touch me. How about garde-manger? Oh, now you're talking. Garde-manger is my middle. In fact, my nickname in college was garde-manger. So anyway, there we are talking our stuff. And the chef says, hey, garde-manger, that is a great idea. Let's do, for the last buffet of the summer, a classic French buffet with all the trays and the mirrors and the ice carvings and the galantines and the ballantines. You guys go nuts. Do whatever you want. Everyone gets to do whatever they want. One big tray of something. Well, they were thrilled. I was not happy. I was upset because I didn't know how to do any of that. And now I was going to be found out for the fraud that I was. I was good in the kitchen. I was good on the hotline. Like I said, no one could touch me. But now I was really going to, this was going to be embarrassing. So I didn't know what I was going to do. But then I saw, in the walk-in, some yellow crookneck squash. And it gave me an idea. Maybe I could bluff and just say I'm so tired of the classics, hard-to-do stuff, that I want to do something just more fun, funny, humorous. Anyway, that's what I did. I made some squash birds. None of them believed me. They figured I was just covering up. I didn't know how to do the real stuff, which was true. I put them out on the buffet, and much to my shock, people loved it. It was by far the most popular thing on the buffet. The other cooks were bitter and upset. We didn't call them player haters back then, but that's what they were. They were hating the player, not the game. And I got away with it. I was the hit of the buffet. The chef was kind of smiling. I mean, he thought it was stupid too, but, hey, you can't argue with success. And it was funny. He asked me after the buffet, he says, John, it was kind of funny what you did there. You do know the real stuff, though, all the technical, the garde-manger, the real textbook. Oh, chef, come on. You think they just give anyone these jobs? I was one of the top students at Paul Smith's. I am awesome at everything. Okay, he told me. Calls me into his office a couple days later and announces that I've been hired, on his recommendation, by the way, for the chef garde-manger job at the San Francisco Opera House. I would leave at the end of the week if I'd accept the job. Wow, said chef, I could have a talk. I made all this stuff up. I can't do garde-manger. I can't believe you guys believe me. All I can do is squash birds. Well, long story short, he talked me into it. I went to San Francisco. Yes, I read a garde-manger book on the bus there, trying to pick up some things I already paid for to learn in school. So that was kind of depressing. But basically, he talked me into it. He said, listen, you're 20 years old, so you fooled me, you'll fool them. You go, you make some squash bird, you'll pick up the other stuff, and good luck to you. Hope that all works out for you. So there I was on the bus to San Francisco. I was going to get there. I was going to be found out as a fraud in San Francisco, shipped back to Shortsville. And, well, no, that's not what happened. I made squash birds at the Opera House, and again, much to my amazement, people loved the squash birds. So here's what I found out. You know who hates the squash bird? Other cooks, chefs, real garde-manger chefs. They think this thing is stupid. It's insulting. It's cartoonish. It's silly. They're right. But you know who loves it? Everybody else in the world. So how can everybody be right? That's the story of the squash bird. Everybody's right. It's stupid. It's silly. It's bizarre. It doesn't belong on a buffet. It's the best thing on the buffet. There's no right or wrong. You get to decide. I want you to make a squash bird so you can feel the magic. It really does make people smile. So I hope you enjoyed that story. All the important parts of that story were true. And by the way, I want to finish with this. There's a secret symbol that I taught to my students that identifies them as a squash bird philosophy follower. Here it is. You hold your hands up in the shape of an S, all right, and then you flip it up at squash S, bird. There's your symbol, all right. So you flash that, people know you're down with the squash bird and that you're representing properly. There it is, the squash bird. Okay, I hope you make one of those. Enjoy.